guys, welcome back to my channel if you're new. Hello. So for today I've decided to just discuss with you my experience through the pandemic. I don't really know where to start. In the beginning of the pandemic, I remember I stopped going to college on the 19th of March, and at first I was just excited that I didn't have to go to college anymore, well, for a while, but that soon changed when I started to become very, I don't know, I felt alone. Like, even though I'm with family and like I have friends I can still talk to, I just still felt alone. Like I was trapped. I couldn't move, couldn't leave. And sure, I went on walks to get some air, but like that isn't the same. And yes, I would FaceTime, talk to my friends, but it's not the same as seeing them in person. And I think, sure, other people have had it worse, massively have had it worse. My cousin and my uncle, they caught COVID. They had it quite bad. Like, not, my cousin had it worse, to be fair. He went to hospital. He's fine now. He's recovering. This was in the beginning. That was like last year when he got it, and he's still not the same. Neither is my uncle. But they're getting there. They're getting there. And then obviously the pandemic was kind of lifting, the COVID was going away. So there was a little bit of hope. I was able to meet my friends in the park. As long as we social distanced away from each other, then it was fine. So I tried to do that as much as I could while I had the chance. We pretty much hung out as like almost like every other day, to be fair. But then COVID got stronger, and then we had to lock down again. Like, everything was shut, couldn't go to parks with other people. So it was just like, seriously, we're back to this again, cool. And then Sumi was able to go to college, well, school again. I think, no, sorry. We had hope that the schools was opening at some point, but then it got pushed back because of COVID. It was too high for us to go back. And then I think we went back for a week or two or something. And then I think it was Christmas. It's either Christmas or New Year's that we had another lockdown. This year has not been the best for me. My granddad caught COVID. Which was, he had dementia for a very long time, and at the point when he got COVID, he didn't know any of us. I just remember one time when me, my mum and my brother went to my nan's. My granddad was much healthier then. Like, he still had dementia, but he was able to walk and everything. And my mum asked my granddad individually, did he know who we were? And when he got to me, he said he had no idea. He didn't know who I was. And I kind of like broke down right there and then, because obviously that's the worst thing I probably would have heard. Well, I thought in the moment that was my worst nightmare, him not knowing who I was. But then a couple seconds later he was like, oh, of course I know who you are. And I was like, this is just gonna get worse. And it did. But yeah, he caught COVID and he went to hospital. And he passed away at the beginning of the year. So this year hasn't been my year. I remember when we had to go to this shop, or wherever it's called, where they have the bodies, and I think they're like arranging the box that they're in and arranging that how they're carried into the funeral. I had to write a letter and put it on him. So I went down to the shop, and when my mum pulled up, all my family was outside. They had obviously been in there before me, me and my mum. My brother didn't want to go, it was too much for him. But my mum went in the room first, and I could hear her sobbing from outside. I don't think I really accepted the fact that he was gone yet. I hadn't accepted it yet. Yes, I knew he was gone, but I didn't accept it. And then when I went in the room, I didn't look at him yet. But then when I turned around and looked at him for a second, and I just couldn't take it. I broke down. And then I went outside and hugged my nan. And then I think it was in February his funeral was. And I remember being in the car with my cousins, because there was two cars, one for the adults and one for the children. I remember being in that car, and on the way there I was fine. But then when we drove into the gates, it really sunk in, and I just started hyperventilating in the car, and then I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop crying. And then we went inside the church. My nan asked us to look our best for when we went in for him, but by the ending of it, I looked my worst. My mascara was everywhere, because the whole entire service I couldn't get over the fact that he was just laying in that box. And there was nothing I could do to get him out. And it finally sunk into me that he was gone. Not emotionally, but I physically couldn't see him anymore. I think that's the part that hits me. Knowing that whenever I go to my nan's now, he's not gonna be there. I'm sorry. It's been months since, but today it's just hitting me hard. I'm sorry. But eventually we went to my cousin's for a little wake for him, and we all had a good time. We all was just celebrating him. That day was probably the worst, probably the hardest thing I've ever faced. But then I know this has nothing to do with COVID right now, but I did something really stupid that I shouldn't have done. I searched up, how does someone get cremated? And there was a video. And I watched it. And obviously my granddad got cremated. And just picturing that happening to him, I shouldn't have watched the video. I shouldn't have searched it, because then I wouldn't have known what happens. Oh, sorry, this video has taken a very different turn, different direction. But I'm probably just gonna leave it here, because that's my experience through COVID, through the pandemic. I just feel sorry for all of the other people that have lost someone during this time, because it's just so difficult. So difficult. I mean, even if there wasn't COVID, it'd still be difficult. But especially when you can't, because obviously we wasn't able to go up to the coffin and see him. Normally you'd be able to do that, see him for one last time, and then then you'd walk out. But we couldn't do that because obviously COVID. But yeah, I hope that all the people that have lost someone that is healing, are grieving in the right way, and they're just being strong for their family. So yeah, that's the end of my video. So if you enjoyed this sappy video, then please like, subscribe and press the bell button so that you get notified every time I upload. And I shall see you in the next video, guys. I promise it will be more happy and uplifting. Bye guys.